Okay, welcome back to the Dark Side of Real Estate. I'm Paige Hardy.
And I'm Palmer Hardy.
So we have a guest today, Nana Jill,
Hi.
and she may be a guest on future episodes, but we'll see how she does today.
I'm gonna judge your acting skills today. Oh wait, this is all
It's real.
Scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is scripted.
Yeah, no, she knows exactly what she's supposed to say today. We're not going to throw any curveballs at her at all.
So our topic of the day is
Why we think agents get paid too much.
because they do, but not all of them do.
Jill, do you think we get paid too much?
No, I definitely don't think we get paid too much.
Agreed. I don't think we get paid too much.
I think that it's mostly because there's so much noise about agents just not doing anything and getting huge, giant thousands of dollars paychecks, you know?
Glorified door openers, if we
Yes.
will. Yeah.
And that's one of those things that I've said to buyers before when they feel like they're asking me too much or I'm doing too much. And I'm like, well, I'm not here to just open the door.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or schedule an appointment.
and yeah, I'm not a secretary, and
Well, okay, Jill, since you're here, you have how many years in the business now?
Almost 20.
And how many market crashes have you been through?
Oh, I don't know, 4.
How many changes in the market have you been through?
Numerous.
Okay.
and how many years in real estate law prior?
22 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to put that in perspective, when you first started, did you have the thing called the internet and Google Maps and all those things?
Well, I think she had the internet.
We had the
something new, though.
internet in 2005, but it was very much, something that was new. Cell phones were newer. Not everybody had a cell phone even back then.
iPhones weren't a thing like with
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, you
Maps,
could pull up,
you
like,
had to
maps.
use the old-fashioned paper maps to figure out where you were going.
Or my
from
favorite,
one
you
top
would
to the
you
next.
would do
On
your
my soul.
she would do her routes. I remember this, and then print them out, right? But it's like, you know how often people change their mind at the last second or whatever. You're like, okay, well, now I have to like reroute.
Yeah.
And figure out how to go from,
But that's why
uh-oh.
you memorized your
Yeah.
cities and everything, like you
Well,
knew
is
your routes.
so nowadays, harder or easier?
Definitely easier.
So
Yes.
that means that agents have to prove their value tenfold.
Yes.
It's easier. Anyone could do it. Anybody could schedule a house. You got
For
10
sure.
houses. You could do that. But what makes us different in the fact that's not the only thing that we do.
Right.
No, it's our knowledge and our research that we do. We don't just wait for someone else to do something for us. We actually are proactive to, get answers, to find out information for our buyers. And I know that there are a lot of agents out there that just hook their belt onto a buyer and just kind of follow them around and don't do anything really.
Right.
And of course, there's going to be the buyers that are a bit more complex. They're not just wanting the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot house.
You might
so
be looking
sometimes
for
they
a
do have
long
to send
time.
you the houses first, so you get a really good
Right.
idea of what they're looking for.
I mean, I even do that in my design. Like if I'm helping someone, renovate, or if I'm helping someone find a house, first I need to learn your style. I need to learn what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
So there's, that's what you should do though. Like we talked about having like an actual buyer presentation, show them a range of houses and start figuring out their style from the get-go rather than waiting, let's take 3 months to just figure out what you like. It doesn't take that
Yeah.
long.
No, it doesn't.
know?
As long as you actually use your head and pay attention.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Once when I meet a new buyer and I take them out to say like maybe 3 houses, and then after each house, I ask them what they like and what they don't like about that particular house. And by the time we're finished, then I can kind of summarize to them.
Right.
This is what I think that you like and what is most important
And
to you.
this is what you could compromise on. This is what maybe we could keep an eye out for. It would be a bonus.
Yes.
And my
Yes.
favorite too is what a lot of people don't do is they shop before they even know their budget, right? And we really stress that it's important, even if you don't use Rick, our preferred mortgage broker, even if you use someone else, the point is that you talk to somebody that we know can give you a very, set amount that you can afford per month and then figure out the purchase price so that you're working backwards and you're not seeing all these houses that, turns out you can't afford, you loved it, but you can't
Unfortunately,
afford
yeah,
it.
that's happened quite a bit. Or the lenders who, this is why we
Fake
like using our
pre-approvals.
preferred lender, for the sheer fact that some lenders just throw out numbers and it's not legit. And then by the time it
Yeah.
actually comes to, it's not good. But, with us, we obviously do our best to keep in touch even after the transaction closes.
Yeah.
Parties, we've got one, coming up, and it's a relationship. It's the largest purchase you're ever going to make.
Right.
And we don't want you to just drop off the face of the
Yeah.
earth as soon as something closes and we
That's
get paid.
why-
Like, we invest years into you.
Well, that's why we
Yes.
send out our newsletters and we try and spotlight some local places for people to go. We have our list of preferred vendors. So even if you bought with us 3 years ago, you can check our list of people and you're like, oops, I need a plumber. I need a contractor. I need this. I need that. And it's at your fingertips because
Well-
we trust them. They do good work and they're on our list.
Do you remember
know?
we had a mutual client that he actually said to us, we were doing the home inspection, he was like doing some carpet stuff, and he goes, oh man, whatever, it was a really expensive bid. And I looked at him, I go, did you not talk to Palmer about her connections for carpet? And he goes, I keep forgetting that you guys are not just like real estate, like I just think house. And I go, yeah, everything that has to do with the house.
Yes.
Carpet, painters,
Yes.
roofers, electricians, plumbers. I mean,
Contractors
you want
for
to add on
adding
to your
on.
house. My husband and our cousin, brother, contractor man.
Yeah.
There's
There's so much.
it's not that's why we do think most agents get paid too much, for sure. Because most of them do, probably
Do absolutely
90%.
nothing.
Well,
They
because
don't do
I
anything.
think the majority of the agents, first of all, are not getting mentored because of the e-brokerages. Their work is not being reviewed by
Yeah.
anyone. And, that's why so often we end up almost having to do both sides by monitoring everything on the buyer side when we're the listing agents even.
Well, here's what I'm really excited about. A lot of bad agents and lazy agents or part-time agents are going to get out for sure.
Yeah.
And the ones who are super committed, who do it full time, who really care about getting better and doing the
Education to your buyers or
being
your sellers.
being the best representative that you can, those will stay. And hopefully it's the good ones because the good ones work better with the good ones and everybody's happy at the end. You know? I mean,
Yes.
I have and I know there's so many stories like this, but like story time.
Wait, no. I didn't. Are we done with that topic?
Oh, well, you can add on to this, but
Okay.
I was gonna bring up like my listing that's coming and how I had a really good relationship with that buyer's agent because she was good and she is now 2 years later making $130,000 on her sale,
Oh, yeah.
And I know you have examples of that. So it's like, it's not like we're the only good ones out there, but it's just like, how do we even know? How do you tell after the first meeting with an agent? Like, let's say you're interviewing an agent. What are some either green flags or red flags,
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Oh.
That's a question.
Yeah, that what we can
Well,
tell
Because
our
some
clients,
people
you mean?
watching this, you might be in Orange, like so deep in Orange County, you wouldn't even consider us, or you might be in Sacramento and whatever. Like, point is, like, if you're interviewing people that would never be us because you're not near here,
Well, I know that a big red flag would be if you took more than 24 hours to respond to me. So, I mean, I've been on the buyer side. I just had this happen where I've been trying to get a hold of this one listing agent for about 5 days now, and he's responded to my text once. And I feel so
Seriously.
awful for those sellers because they don't even know probably. They probably have no
I
idea
know.
that their house isn't getting shown. But I think if you do list with somebody and there's a weird amount of, or not weird amount, I guess I should say there's absolutely no communication for a long period of time and you've had no showings, that is a big red flag because it most likely is because you
I don't know.
don't
They're not
know.
responsive.
Yeah,
or
they're
something.
not responding, which is
Most
exactly
of
what's
the
happening.
and a lot of the time it's because they have a full-time job and they're just working as an agent part-time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
Here's a
will
red
get
flag,
rid of the
right?
the part-time agents.
Here's a red flag. They don't do it full time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another red flag is if they are a solo agent with no one backing them. They don't talk about having a team. They don't talk about having a partner, nothing. So if they're sick, out of town, emergency happens, you're not important anymore.
Yeah.
You have no one on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. But so I think this whole thing, and another really good thing about when you're the buyer's agent, or actually when you have a listing, so one of the things in this settlement or whatever that's going on is that there will be no offering of commission on any website. So like Zillow, Redfin, you won't see anything that a buyer's
if they
agent's getting
offer
paid.
at all.
Yeah, no, like it doesn't matter. Even if the seller wants to offer them 5%, nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
So that will, when you're the seller, that will actually increase your showings probably, because let's say you were struggling, you have to sell, you've only lived there for 6 months, you're barely breaking even, and you just genuinely cannot offer a buyer's agent commission unless you get a certain price. That buyer's agent, whoever's showing their client, has no reason, unless the house just doesn't fit their criteria, to not show that house.
Exactly.
So they have to show that house. And if the buyer loves it and then comes down to it and they either have to pay the agent or the seller has to pay, whatever the situation, at least it gets somebody in the door. So I think it's a lot of ethics will
there are a lot
shown.
of there are a lot of ethical issues in the real estate and mortgage industry that hopefully, I mean, considering the 2007-8 market crash time, a lot of things have changed in the mortgage industry for the better, for sure.
Yes.
But in the real estate, I feel like, we've talked about this. I mean, like, it's like in the dark ages. Like, why is there so many things that make no sense that shouldn't even be a part of a 2024 business situation?
Yeah.
For example, a realtor does not need any college degree, no higher education, but they're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars and huge decisions with people, yet they need no true certification except for to get a license that they renew every 3 years. And to be honest, you could just memorize it.
No,
Yes.
4 years.
Yes,
Palmer.
exactly.
I'm sorry.
4 years. And all the education
At least
is just
mortgage
4
lenders
years.
have to do it once a year.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
needs to change. I think we'll see a lot of different changes in the market and for the better. I mean, since you've been licensed, a lot of good things have happened, right?
Yes, but the thing that has happened that isn't good is that they made the real estate agent test easier.
Yeah.
As
They
the
took
years
out
went on.
math.
Yeah.
They took
blows
out math,
my mind.
which is the biggest part of, I mean, that's something you need to know if you're going
What's an
to
acre?
be
43560.
Yes,
No, that's not
exactly. I mean, but just to even know how to do basic math, and that's all they had on it before. Like when
I
I
know.
took my test,
mean,
almost 20 years
my-
ago.
Oh, wait.
Why don't they even have you
Yeah.
know how to calculate a tax rate and stuff, the tax base, and figure that out?
No,
and figure
they
out
don't teach
people's
you how to
maybe
do
like
that.
monthly tax. Like those are questions we are asked. So if you can't do math, even on a calculator,
Yeah.
like how are you going to be
And everybody
helpful?
has
I mean, yeah,
a
you could
smartphone.
throw it on the lender, but most lenders don't respond immediately.
Most lenders
I mean, Rick does,
will
but
not even respond to a
No.
text on the weekend because they don't work weekends.
and if you're choosing a bank as your lender,
that's it.
Oh,
Good luck.
okay. So another thing which is crazy to me is that if you've been licensed since the 80s, there is no requirement to take the test again. You only have to, or like re-up on, okay, I know there's continuing education, right? Which is all BS. We all know that. But there's no requirement to have to, it's like a driver's test. You should, when you get to a certain age, you should have to go do that test again.
Yeah.
Make sure you ain't blind.
absolutely.
Or all these things. So I've run into agents who have been licensed for 30, 40 years. And I'm like, y'all need to
they're
retire.
doing
This is crazy.
They're doing things the same way that they did 30 years ago. And it's mostly take some cell phone photos, stick a sign in the ground, and call it a day.
And the cell phone photos.
And then, wait. And brag that they've been doing this since the 80s.
Oh,
Yeah.
and to
was
tell
my
you how
favorite.
experienced and professional you are, because those 80s male agents love to tell us that, don't they?
Yep, they all love to tell us how
professional
experienced
they
and
are.
professional that they are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if anybody is curious, if you've watched this long, if you're curious about what's going on, you have any questions, concerns, things like that, obviously drop us a comment, follow us, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And
Peace out, Girl Scout.
yeah.
See ya.